So all of that information, infinite almost, is in counter space. You can't... You remember the film Zoolander? Where he's breaking the computer because he wants to get the file out. He's like, where's that file, is it? You won't find it. It's like a doctor operating your liver to find that horrible emotion which is making you sick and pulling it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's when his mother beat him up. Oh, God, that emotion. Throw it out in the bin. You can't do that because emotions, they're not in space. They're in another body which is not spatial. Like your thoughts. There's no, you can't fill your head up with thoughts because now it's full, right? You've got no more space. It's all full because it's not spatial. Thinking is not spatial. So what a good thing that we have computers. We can understand how we manifest in this vibratory world from the radial world of magnetism, which has all the information. This is why every time you reincarnate, it's like rebooting your computer. All the information comes to your screen. You're writing a book every day. You write a little bit, your autobiography. Today, I'm writing chapter 2. Turn the computer off. Next morning, you reboot. Every day, you make improvements to your file. So each life that you reincarnate, reboot, what do? Make improvements? Or do you do destructive works to perhaps put a virus on that file so it corrupts? And then in 3 months' time, you don't have a published work that you can publish your autobiography. Eventually, you want a finished work. So what are we aiming at? We're aiming to finish our good work here by making improvements every time we reincarnate. And that information is always stored with God in the unchangeable world, which is eternal and infinite. Here you are not conditioned. Unlimited. Unconditioned. Here you have a red chakra, a blue chakra, a torso, an anatomy. It's nice when you see the word anatomy. Conditions, limitations. Here you are limited. Can you fly? Can you see as far as an eagle? Can you hear as well as a bat? Can you smell as well as a dog? Your smell is limited. Your eyesight's really limited. Most of us are wearing glasses. And we're even more limited than other people. Yeah? Gustavo.
Hello.
Amen.
This guy crashed into me, man.
Yeah.
Just coming here. That's alright.
Yeah.
Wasn't much.
It's cool. We're getting here. It's filling up.
I'm here.
You made it.
13 people say they were coming, so what have we got? 15? It's cool. It's coming along. So, you've been rebooted, reincarnated, and you've got this red chakra and blue chakra in your torus field, in your body. And remember, this is like the computer screen. You can change this. You can change the file, you can change all this information easy. You know? Make modifications, improve it. So that when this is done and it gets wiped out, you die, your body dies, your soul returns. This is the soul. White light is soul. Black light is spirit. No colour, all colours. So we've got B and T, bull and Taurus. B is the first letter of the alphabet, not A. Just ask the Hebrew scholars. A is not the first letter. B is the first letter. T, Tav, in Hebrew is the last letter. So you've got the first and the last, the bull and the Taurus. Anything in between is this. Remember I said you only need these three words, atom, bull and Taur, and all words in every language come from them. All of them, as you will see, because I haven't even started to prove this comprehensively and exhaustively. And there will be never any argument ever about this subject again after today. Because I've got hundreds of slides proving this in all languages, not just English. English just happens to be the best one. And it's very appropriate that the world is now speaking English. Anglish, angelish, it's the language of angels. Absolutely never doubt it. It is the best language for astrotheology and for religious science. Absolutely the best, pure and unadulterated. Anyone who tells you that English is hybrid and it comes from French and Norman and Latin and Greek and Teutonic and Nordic, block your ears. It comes from this in its purest form. The most pure language that ever was is English. I've proven that time and again. I do astrotheology in Italian, Portuguese and Spanish on my YouTube channel. You can see all the playlists. I've done hundreds of those languages, and I do syncretism beautifully in those languages, but nothing like English. Nothing. English is the language of all languages. This is all intact. All of this is all intact. Like a Swiss watchmaker can get all these little gears, cogs, springs. Voila, in 10 minutes he's got his little lady's watch that you can hardly, and he's put it all together. That's how English puts theology all together. Astrology, alchemy, all of it. English. So, okay, well let's do this. What we're going to see is bowl. I'm going to give you a few better words or other words and variants of this. Sol, that's the sun, solar, because that's the sun. All atoms are little suns, little stars. And that's what you are. Over here we have a sister, over there we have a spinster, over here we have a master. Outside we've got mobsters, monsters, gangsters, fraudsters, we've got some rock stars, we've got some superstars. Everybody's a star, because everybody's this. We're all stardust. Whether you want to be a monster or a master, it's your choice. What about the youngsters? They're also young stars. And they get told at school, if you be good, little Johnny, you can get a gold star to take home. And then if you do well in athletes, you go to Olympic Games, you'll get not bronze, not silver, gold medal, young star. So everybody is this. That's in your heart, that's the core. Pulsating. Boom, 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 boom. And this, your heart is making this radial wave. That's why people, when you meet someone with a beautiful heart, you say, oh, they were radiating. Their heart was radiating. You would never say their heart was vibrating. Oh, a beautiful person, his heart was just vibrating. You can say he had good vibes. He emanated good vibes, or that guy had just awful, bad vibes. Yeah, because vibration doesn't come from the heart. It comes from the mind, thought waves, and the liver, emotion waves. Noisy minds, toxic emotions, blah, blah, blah. But the heart doesn't do that. The heart radiates radially. It's a radial wave. And don't you like it when people think that you've got a beautiful radiating heart? Wouldn't you want that? Or do you want people to walk away and say, oh God, that person had some bad vibes? No one likes that. This is great Thank you. Panna. There you go, let's give this corporate. Acqua panna.
In the glass.
From Toscana. I did syncretism in Florence in 2013. 4 days in Florence of syncretism. They loved it. So Tuscany is a beautiful place. Soul, bowl. Remember, that's the soul and the spirit. This is the body. Soul. There's no mistake why the sun and your soul have the same pronunciation. Soul and soul. Because it all comes from this. Whole. So whole is holy. Like the gods of Olympus. The gods of Olympus. Holy. Jupiter. All those holy gods, right? So whole, it's also a wormhole. These are wormholes. So the sun, it must be a hole. People look at the sun, they see something round and they think, oh, that's got to be a sphere. It has to be a ball. Bowl. By the way, that's also the word ball because these are balls. They're spherical. But does that mean that the moon and the sun are actually physical objects that are spheres? No, it doesn't. They are holes. They are holes, empty holes. Check out the work of Eric Dollard, one of the greatest scientists on YouTube who ever lived, who talks about the sun being an empty hole. It's just the only arcing that goes on in the sun is on the surface. The new moon. Have you ever seen a new moon? And then you see this black, you see this disc, this ring, and then you see the moon going like this. You're looking at a hole. It's totally holy. Holy hole. So when your heart radiates healthily, it becomes whole. There's not a hole. You see people who don't radiate. You've met them. Certainly no one in here because I can feel everyone's goodness. This is goodness from the heart radiating. But there are people who that energy is going into, they're sucking energy in. They're not giving it back out. They're not. That's what they call soulless people with holes. See, what happens is if you don't protect your aura and you don't do good works with integrity, what happens is that entities come in and attach themselves to your aura and they find holes and they find their way in and they corrupt the file. This is the file, this is the RAM, and this is the screen of the computer. So this is the file. You don't want to... What happens if you get a virus? When you get a new computer, it runs beautifully, very fast, right? And then you start going on, you start browsing certain sites or whatever, and Trojan jumps on your computer, and all of a sudden, my computer's slowing down. I've got to go and get it cleaned up. Because why? It's corrupted. That's the same with your soul and your spirit. When you come into body, if you misuse your body and use it for bad purposes like drunkenness, stealing, cheating, lying, pornography, all kinds of abuses, anger, this will also, in the transcendental realm, will also get corrupted. And that's when you see people who look sickly, who don't radiate. There's no glow in their eyes. You can see a dim grayness. Something's wrong. And then when you see people get old and all sort of, they're walking like this, that's fair enough, we're all going to why? Well, it's because this has been attacked. See? There's ways to keep this alive and charged forever. You don't have to die. Death's not part of the whole scheme of things. It's only a temporal thing. And that's because it's corrupted, like the file. If you can keep viruses away from your computer, you will always have your files in your hard drive clean, they'll always be there. You can go travelling for a year, come back home, reboot your computer, bang, there's your files, you open them up, oh yeah, it's still there, great, I'm going to improve those today. And that's the same with your soul. When you go back to unconditioned cause, away from this body, you really want to have gold. Remember that little golden egg? We started out as a golden egg. You want to keep that gold pure. And you will. Because you need that currency. Otherwise you will not ascend. By good deeds, good works, keep that strong. Keep that heartbeat strong, clean. And your mind, there's the head, and your liver over here. Emotion waves and thought waves. That's these kind of waves. See people who've got busy minds. And you see them walking down the street and they're talking to themselves like they're crazy. Yeah, that's because they've got demons or egregores which they have created. Thought waves, emotion waves. If you have some emotional problem from 3 years ago and you keep thinking, oh gee, my brother, he stole my money, and you keep thinking and thinking, it's going to grow and grow and grow to become its own autonomous entity called a demon. You grow your own demons. You have to stop those thoughts. You have to, he hurt me, that's cool. I'm moving on. Okay? So you move on. Otherwise they will attach themselves to you and they will become entities that will hound you for the rest of eternity. You have to shed those entities, clean this field and become whole and holy. The scriptures teach you how to be holy. They say drunkards will not inherit God's kingdom. People who practice pornography and loose conduct will not inherit God's kingdom, etc. It's just not. Is that because God is evil, he's going to judge you? No, there's no God that's going to judge you, it's you. If you rock up at the cinemas with $2 and you say, I want to see the Joker, thank you, and the guy there says, no, it's $10. What? Are you, what's the word, discriminating because I'm yellow or because I'm black? No, it's got nothing to do with the colour, you don't have the money. You can't say, because I'm gay? No, there's no discrimination. You've judged yourself, you haven't got enough currency. So you have to go back, do some work, earn some more money, $10, thank you, I want to see the Joker. Oh, great, I'm going. Doesn't matter whether you're gay, black, white, tall, fat, short. There's no judgment. God doesn't judge you, you judge yourself. If you don't have the goods, the money to pay the ferryman to cross the river Styx, that's the river. Here's your body. You got to get back home, uncorrupted. And you got to have the currency. You can't go with $2. Remember, there's a lady whose shawl that glitters is gold, and she's buying. Stairway to heaven. Revelation, Jesus says, buy gold off me, so you may be saved. Buy white garments, so no one sees your shameful nakedness. Buy salve for your eyes, so you can open them and see. It's up to you. Your choice, monster or master. We're all stars. We're all going back to the true star. Remember, star is where you start your journey. Everything starts from the stars and finishes in black light, because black is where you go back, where there is no lack. There is no lack in black. Everything is here. This is where your file is, your spirit. And the spirit can never die. Soul can, you can lose the soul. And body, of course, it's only a vehicle to express what's here. This is an expression of effects from the cause. And Ram is the soul. That's why the sun is called Ram, Sri Ram. It's RAM. There's no mistake why they're called RAM. The delivery system from the file to your screen. It's RAM. Random access memory. That's what your soul is. It's RAM. Rama. In your heart. So we've got bowl, soul, whole, holy, foal, foliage. These are the two fig. When Adam and Eve ate the apple, that's the apple. The apples of Apollo. In Proto-Celtic, in the Proto-Celtic word abal means apple. Abala. Abala. Bala in Persian means divine. It's always this. All words come from this. From bowl, tor, and atom. All words. All things, all thoughts, all emotions, everything. All is atom. Foliage. See, what happened was they saw they were naked when they ate the apple, because you see, you're not naked here because there's no body. Remember, it's not spatial. But when you jump, you eat the apple. These are the abals. What? I'm naked. In other words, I have a body. So God clothed Adam and Eve with fig leaves. Well, fig is figure. And these are the two leaves. We'll see that as we go. Foliage. So B, remember, that's the first letter of the alphabet, bull, and tor, T, is the last letter of most alphabets. It's the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet anyway. It's the fifth last in English. But we're going to see all that. So you have to remember that this bowl, this obelisk, this phallic, phal is also F becomes F, which comes from B, and B and V, vol, here you go, there's another one, vol. Volution, to volunteer, to come, to incarnate. Volume, this is voluminous. Magnetism is volume, because it makes space. Time, space. Time, space. These pulses, they make time because they make the frequency. If you're ever sitting in a bath one day, just open the tap a little bit so it drips doop, doop, slowly, and you see ripples, you'll see it. And then you just turn it up a bit, doop, 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 you see quick ripples, different frequency. That's all that's going on here. This sets the frequency for everything. Everything is frequency. Thank you, Tesla. Energy, frequency, vibration. Is that the third component of his three-part energy, frequency, vibration? Yeah. Yep. Frequency happens in both ways, the longitudinal and the transverse. And that's the cross. That's what the cross is. You see the Christian cross? Well, that's magnetism and the transverse wave, which creates the wave. That's all it is. The cross is a symbol of electricity. Everything is. Nothing is not. It's an electrical world. When you go to the Mormon church, you will learn about the God of electricity. Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah, the God of electricity. When you go to the Mayans, the Sanskrit Indians, the Hindus, wherever you go, the God of electricity. Buddha, was he a real man? He sat under a tree. I wonder which tree it was. Well, Buddha means body. That's all it is. That's Buddha. And that's the body. And the tree that he sat under to meditate is the lumbar here, the five. You've got your coccyx, you've got your sacral, you've got your lumbar, your thoracic, and your cervical. The lumbar's in the middle. Lumbar means tree, lumberjack. And I am a body, Buddha, meditating under a tree. You think these people make me laugh. When I was running a restaurant in 1981, I was 18. This Buddhist consortium, there was about 12 of them, they came in to get some food. And I was like, whoa, who are these people? They're orange, very orangey clothes, and they're walking nice, and they sat down and ordered their food. I was like very impressed. I was only a teenager. And one of them, I just sat there and chatted with them, and one of them said, I'm going to show you something special. I'm going to go to the car and I'm going to get you a real bone, a relic of the Buddha himself. Back then I thought, wow, I've seen the bone of Buddha. It's like Jesus. How many crosses? A medieval writer once wrote, if all the crosses that claim to be from the true cross of Christ were put together, you could build 100 Noah's Arks. Because that's how much BS that all of these stories they tell you. Every church, every monastery has got a relic of Buddha or Krishna. None of them incarnated ever. It's you. You are Buddha because you have a body, and who's sitting next to you? Your buddy. Here's my buddy. Of course he's your buddy because he's got a body. And that's the buddy, Buddha. So, we always go back to this for all of our words. And I've only just begun because the heavy going is coming, guys. So we're going to have to go and get a coffee at 3 o'clock and really get energized because your mind is going to... I won't be able to spend as much time as I'd like to on all these slides, but I want to get it on film for the world because this is the first time ever released. I've been working on this PowerPoint presentation since 2014 and I've never had an opportunity to release it. So this is how privileged you are today if you feel that way. I feel privileged that I'm sharing with you. There's probably about 200 slides and it's really heavy going. Each one I could spend an hour on. It's so much full of information proving only one thing, that all words come from Atum, bull and taur, the bull and the Taurus. Blue shift, red shift. It's going to be proven today and you'll never doubt it ever again. You'll go away and you'll have the keys to understanding not only where every single language comes from, but where every single phenomena in this temporal, finite world comes from. It comes from there. This is the silence and the stillness. This is the effect, noise, movement, etc. Do we put our faith in this world which is transient and fleeting? And 1 minute it's destroyed by fire and the next by water. It's always a fire destruction and a water destruction. Noah's flood, etc. This is because why? Because it's transient, temporal, fleeting, mundane, ephemeral. Here, as it says, do not put your treasures in this world where moth. That's the Father. That's why God the Father is so special. It's not because of patriarchy. Please don't buy into patriarchy and matriarchy and everything like that. It really irritates me when people write to you and say, oh, Santos, you said that the moon is evil and you said that Saturn is evil. Yeah, well, have you seen where I say that the moon is my goddess and that I love the moon because I'm extolling her virtues, but in another presentation I have to extol and tell you how bad she can be, because that's how the demiurge works. This is the dyad and this is the monad. In the monad there is no good and evil. It doesn't exist because there's no polarization as such. Pole, that's another one. Polarized light. The two twins. Whoops. Let's go slow. Pollux and Castor. See Bol and Tor? Remember, Pollux is the divine one because this is polarized light. Lux is divine light. Lumen is mundane light. Lux, lumen. So polarized light, Pollux, and Castor, because Astor means star, and that's a Taurus field. And he was the one that Pollux, the divine, had to go down and save from his, he was mortal. Pollux is immortal, and the Taurus field, of course, is immortal because it's temporal. So that's why Pollux has got to go down, polarized light, to save his brother, the Gemini twins. And what have you noticed when you look up? Have a look tonight at midnight, you'll see the twins up there. Grab your phone, put your app on, and you'll see a red light for Pollux, for Castor. No, actually, Pollux is red and Castor's greenish blue. It's right there. Mars is red, clearly. Venus is blue, clearly. Because Mars Atom is Adam. What does Adam mean? Hebrew scholars, what does Adam mean?
Red. Red.
Red. Adam means red. Adama. It's terrible, isn't it? My writing. I can write well. I can write really neatly, but I never do my presentation. I don't know why. Let's do it nice. Adama, the earth, is red earth. Earth, heaven. Adam means red. How do you say Mars in Hebrew? Ma'adim. Ma'adim. It's almost like madam, isn't it? In fact, Adam is a madam. So Ma'adim, Mars, Adam, is red. Just look up. And Venus is blue. Well, that's Eve. And all you have to do is look at a few languages and you'll work that out. Adam and Eve. It's red shift, blue shift. All the twins, Pollux and Castor. Blue shift, Bol, Tor is red. Cain and Abel. Cain means red. Abel means blue. Jacob and Esau. Esau means red. Jacob means blue. All the twins. It's red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. Red blood, blue blood. Red veins, blue arteries. No, the other way around, isn't it? Help me. Arteries are red. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, doesn't matter, we're not doctors here. One's red and one's blue. That's all it is. It's all red and blue. Roses are red, violets are blue. And so when you understand this, that's why I really laboured this. Thank you for who went and got this whiteboard for me. There it is. Thank you, brother. And because I really want to establish before we hit the presentations, and I'm still going to go,